If you go shopping when you are hungry and suffering a severe sugar crash, your shopping cart is a mess. Your stomach will be making all the decisions and you'll end up with chocolate, cake, and candy. But you also know that if you plan a week of healthy meals and you go to the shop whilst you have energy and your plan ready to hand, there's no surprise that you'll buy all the things that you should have bought in one go, simply and effectively. And something you'll notice in life is that professionals do not attempt to mix decisions and action at the same time. In fact, there's a very clear divide between the two, and it's a huge part of success in whatever you are trying to achieve. So hello and welcome to the show with me, Sam Webster, where we have a short little bite on a tip for life around strategy. Now, I'm sure you've tried to post on social media sometimes, and if your strategy for posting is to open your social media app with a plan of hopefully thinking of what to post once you've opened the app, you know that you'll get lost in status updates, videos, and after half an hour, maybe 1 hour, you'll finally suck yourself out of this app and you won't even remember why you opened it, let alone have posted the thing you were supposed to post, even though you didn't know what you were supposed to be posting. And that is not a strategy. If you need to post something on social media, you at least need to decide what to post first, or perhaps even prepare it beforehand. But what do professionals do? If you look at a social media agency, if they use the strategy of open the app and attempt to come up with ideas, it would be absolute chaos and no one would work there. Instead, they have a real strategy. At the start of the month, they will make a plan for all of next month's content for all their different clients. Then, for each client, they will take a single day to decide all of the topics they'll be posting about, what to say, dates to post it. Then the next day, they'll make all that content, find good photos, quotes, videos, etc. Then they'll schedule it all and leave it to be published next month. Job done. Of course, any updates that they might need in the meantime for topical content, etc., they'll work into it if needed. But due to deciding ahead of time and then acting, they end up with a coordinated series of posts that work together seamlessly rather than wasting a ton of time. And usually in life, when something looks like it was planned, it was because it was planned. In fact, if you look at marketing teams, they'll work out their campaigns 3 to 6 months ahead of time. Summer has just started and they are now booking influencers to create back to school and fall campaigns in 3 months' time. But social media aside, what about thinking about sport professionally? A professional athlete doesn't wake up in the morning, stumble through a random breakfast of what happens to be in the fridge, and then ponder what exercise they should do today. No, they make a 3-month training plan with their coach that incorporates different forms of training across the week that will map to specific progress goals. They'll be hitting exact amounts of heart rate zones, a targeted volume of strength training versus VO2 max training, and they'll be incorporating mobility and recovery and diet into all of that. Yet, many people who want to get fitter will start the day and are yet to make the decision if they will even exercise at all, let alone what that exercise will be or the goal of it. So what do these professionals have that we don't have, besides being paid for it? They have an abundance of action. They always take action on their decisions. They have concrete evidence that they will execute on the thing they need to do based on the decision that they made beforehand. If you have a history of deciding to go to the gym and never going, you can't plan a timetable of optimal workouts. If you have a history of avoiding your writing habit, you can't plan a timetable of content. And without evidence that you will carry through on your decisions, you can't plan a list of actions in the future that will never happen. You have scarcity in your ability to follow through. So by default, you can only do things when you happen to be in the mood. And you don't know when that mood will be, so you can stumble through your life without a plan, hoping to suddenly have time and motivation to do the thing that isn't scheduled and you're not sure when or how you're supposed to do it. As you drift through each moment of your life without any plans and without a time in your calendar, it is incredibly harder to execute on anything. Instead, if you know that you will execute on a decision that you've made today, even if it's in 3 months' time, you can plan to your heart's content because it will get done. But don't plan 3 months of your life right now. This is a habit that you build over time. Start small. Plan tomorrow's action today and get into a routine of just delivering on your ideas consistently before you then try to be really professional and do like 3 months worth of ideas. And you might not even need to be a professional, like perhaps you don't need a 3-month training plan for your sport, but you could do 1 week at a time and you can certainly become a competent amateur. Whatever you want to achieve, it's going to be much harder without a plan. And identity change takes time. But it's a fundamental part of any habit and becoming a runner or a writer or anything that you want to become. So you also need to have a plan for how you're going to make that identity change. Don't worry about trying to be good. Just first worry about being reliable. Stephen Pressfield says that an unskilled but disciplined writer will beat a skilled but undisciplined writer hands down. A book takes multiple years to write, and reliability will build skill. Doesn't matter if you want to learn a language, change your diet, or become an entrepreneur. Start small, deliver consistent action against your decisions, and over time, build a longer gap between your decisions and the time that the action needs to be implemented. And that will mean that you can build a series of coordinated actions that work together. Whether that's your social media strategy that works coherently and doesn't suck your important time away out of every day, or building a different range of skill sets that tie into your long-term goals. Something interesting you'll find about when you stick to your decisions is that you can't get carried away planning too many things into one day, because you'll actually have a realistic idea of how long each thing takes and when they need to happen and what else might need to be sacrificed. If you have a calendar that's full, you're not going to say yes to a bunch of other things and then find yourself doing none of them because you're an unorganized, stressed out mess who hasn't even done the shopping and finds himself running to the supermarket on a sugar loaf for donuts instead of going to the gym. No, you've already done the shopping at the right time and you're in the gym at the time you're supposed to be in the gym. And you haven't been taking calls or answering emails that you didn't need to be doing at the wrong time. So be strategic and think more professionally about what you take on and how you go through your life. And you'll find it actually makes life much easier. If you seriously want to do something, then think seriously about how to do it and don't try to mix decisions and actions at the same time. Make plans, stick to them, and then make new plans. If you know anybody that does keep surprising themselves with how often they'll choose donuts over sit-ups, do send them this episode, as it's how the show grows. If you have any ideas for me, then we have a request form in the description, or you can even book a call with me to chat about your actions in life, whatever you're working on, or even to talk book recommendations. I don't care. I just want to meet people and it's completely free. And don't forget that magically expecting to do something when you haven't decided what to do is not a strategy. So make the decision now to be kind to yourself today, to climb a tree this summer. I climbed one yesterday. I was childishly happy with life and everything. And of course, always smile at strangers.